Hey, welcome back everyone. So in this one I'm drawing Superman and I started in Clip Studio Paint and then did the inks and colors and Procreate. So full disclosure, I actually did this horrible thing. I looked at uh, what do you call it? AI generated imagery. I don't want to call it art. AI generated imagery, and I used that as reference and inspiration, I guess, to draw this, and then I shared it, and we got a lot of some good feedback, a lot of negative, some straight up bad comments, and I get it. Like it makes people angry, it makes artists angry that I would even do that, and I honestly didn't do it. I just wanted to say that I am not a advocate for AI generated imagery. I'm not. I just have a hard time denying that it's here and that it's causing the ripple effect that it is. And then I'm also a big tech fan, right? Like on the channel, I teach and share, how to use various softwares and tablets, and not just one tablet, but like four, right? So I'm always trying to be a little bit cutting edge, and I think we're all a little bit upset how this stuff came out, and it basically was unethically designed, where it's taking indiscriminately and fueling its data sets. And then other people are happy going, wow, I can create imagery and I wasn't able to do that before. And I don't have to take all the hard road and long, arduous process. I can just start making images like tomorrow. And we all know with any shortcuts, there's a hidden price, right? So it's not going to be that easy for everybody that thinks they can just jump in and start prompting and making images. But it's here, and unfortunately, it's going to be here to stay. So I don't like to bury my head in the sand and pretend like this isn't happening, or I won't support it and that'll somehow keep these big companies from developing the tech. That's not going to happen. I don't even know that you would slow it down with that way of thought. It's okay to do that, and it's great to take a stance, and I support that. I think I support, honestly, ideas on both sides of the fence, and there's a lot of gray area and nuances to this. But essentially, I feel like as artists, we have to take inspiration and ideas from everywhere that we can, and but running it through our own creative filter and our own stylistic choices, we learn through that process. And so if I see a good idea, whether it be games, movie, Netflix, um, board game, I mean, you name it, nature, like wherever I see it, I try to stop and say, you know what, there's something I got to learn about this. There's a reason that intrigues me. Now, so with this particular image, it's not like the pose was so great or so hard to capture. I could have easily set up a tripod or posed in the mirror and took this picture. I would have had to obviously superimpose the muscles, of course. But the thing is that it wouldn't have been that hard to capture this. But what this particular image looked like, and I'm not going to share it because I don't want to get into like, oh, that's so and so's art. He prompted that. I don't want to even mess with that. But essentially, it just had a look that was like imposing and powerful, captured Superman's proportions and his physique and that kind of thing. And generally, so the things that I look at with AI generated imagery is that basically it looks like it does well with color. Some aspects of the anatomy are pretty darn cool, and some are just horrible. Depth is usually pretty good. Then there's a bunch of other things it can't do well at the moment. Finger count is a noticeable one everybody makes fun of, and definitely anatomical issues. And then also like real complex scene generation with like taking instructions on changing that scene and keeping other elements. So I don't know, maybe there's people better at the whole prompting thing. Again, I'm not going to get into that. I know that it's going to just get better really fast, like technology tends to do. But that's not really the point. Like the point is that our pursuit of art is about our transformation and our journey and our development. I'm actually starting to look at this more positively where, hey, if a bunch of people circumvent the process and just go right to the end goal by becoming a prompter and a AI generator or whatever you want to, whatever the term is there, AI generator engineer, like that's their choice, but they're really just harming themselves. I mean, yes, I would say that they're also harming the market and the way that they're pumping this stuff into the market and devaluing the longer, more arduous process. But again, the people that are doing that are only harming themselves, I think, and the ones left standing will be the true artists. So like any market, like it's almost like when there's a downturn in the market, right? All your competitors that weren't really in it to win it kind of fall to the wayside. Well, same thing with this. All the artists that just really weren't going to maybe pursue it to the end just fall out early. And that leaves you left standing as the real artist. So I would look at that. There's lots of other areas to think about and to look at this as, there's, again, a lot of nuances. It is a complex topic. But I just wanted to show you that I did do this thing. I don't know that I'll keep doing it. I probably won't. I'm not a big supporter of these generators. I think that they need to be regulated and it needs to be shifted in the way that people that do participate in their data sets and the learning aspect of these softwares need to be fairly compensated, or their work should be stricken from the database. And so I do think it needs a lot of regulation. But again, as artists, I think it's our responsibility to take ideas from anything. If something's done well, it's done well. You should learn from it and basically add that to your arsenal, making you a better artist, and then you move on and you continue that process over and over again. And the other thing is this: if you're so worried about people generating all this imagery and getting all this attention, and now the market's saturated with it, and like, how are you going to stand out? You have to remember that the connection that people are making to that is purely visual. But when you make that connection to somebody else, a true artist, a real artist, generally when you follow them and you interact with their work, and you're connecting on a deeper level. You can even tell by the comments. So, go to some of these pages that share all this cool art, and it's a lot more superficial. The comments are like, wow, that's really cool. That looks stunning. Hey, you should try this. You should try that. And it's not really in depth. There's no connection there. I'm not saying it's nil. I'm not saying that, again, it's not still having a recourse on the market, because it is. But at the same time, you as a person that's actually drawing and painting and doing all this stuff by hand, you are getting more of a deeper connection. I even see a difference in the connectivity from when I share traditional art to digital art. I'm still drawing it all freehand, but you can tell that on the other end of that basic relationship that you have with your customers and your fans, they're like, man, really love the way you did the hatching here. It's like the same hatching, but again, because it's real art in their mind, there's a deeper connection there. So focus on that. Focus on your style. Just create lots and lots of art. Learn from everything you see around you, but don't feel threatened by it. And hopefully this video is helpful, and I hope you enjoyed the work. More on the way soon, and bye for now.